Hi, my name is Kim McQuitty and welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about 12 questions that you should ask the person you're seriously dating or engaged to before you get married. You say, why 12? Well, there's just 12 out of the 150 some odd questions that are in the back of the workbook, this workbook here, Are You Wife Ready? Preparing You for Marriage Beyond the Wedding Day. Also, there is a 7-week curriculum. This is a 7-week curriculum that is here on my YouTube channel that you can actually walk through 7 sessions that's preparing you for your marriage, for women, preparing the women for marriage. But today I want to propose 12 questions to you that are in the back of that book that I feel like most couples probably not even asking one another before they get married, and they're not even thinking about it, and just some things that you need to know before you say, I do. These are not in any particular order. I just randomly chose 12 questions out of this book, and I want to share those with you today. So the first one, what would be left of our relationship if we eliminated physical attraction? What would be left of our relationship if we eliminated physical attraction? Now, let me tell you something. Physical attraction is important. Looks are important. Beauty is fading, but looks are important. You don't want anybody that's an eyesore. You want somebody that's easy on the eye. You want somebody that you enjoy waking up, looking at, and dreaming into their eyes. Yes, very important. However, if you eliminated that physical attraction, if you eliminated the looks, who do you have? Who are they? What's at the core of their heart? I always like to say that the mouth is the tattletale of the heart. If you listen to a person long enough, you're going to know how they think. You're going to know what they say. You're going to know who they are because they're going to share from what's in their heart. That's how we know people, by what comes from their heart and it comes out of their mouth. Who is this person at their core? Are they a person of integrity, character? Are they mature? If we eliminate the physical attraction, what do you have left? Are they driven? Are they complacent? Are they lazy? Do they have dreams? Do they have goals? Do they have vision for their life? Who are they? That is who you're marrying. You're marrying who they are at the core of their hearts. Number 2, are you presently maintaining relationships with your past boyfriends or girlfriends? If so, would you end them if I felt uncomfortable? Now, let me say this, let me preface this. If you are in a relationship with a past boyfriend or girlfriend, it should be because you are co-parenting. You need to be in a relationship, co-parenting relationship. Let me make it clear. You need to be in a co-parenting relationship with them. Now, if you have a relationship with a past boyfriend or past girlfriend, I'm talking to guys and girls here. I know sometimes men watch these videos as well. If you're in a past relationship with a past girlfriend or a past boyfriend, you need to ask yourself why. If you're dating someone right now, who's seriously dating someone, engaged, preparing for marriage, but you still have a relationship with your past ex, there's no children involved, why are you still in a relationship with them? And if the man or the woman you're in a relationship with now, again, men or women, who's ever watching this, is uncomfortable with the fact that you have these ties to someone you were once in a relationship with, is uncomfortable, you need to let it go. Again, the first question is, why are you even in it? Why are you in it? Why are you still maintaining these ties with someone who is no longer in your life and there are no children involved? That is the question to be asked. But if she brings it up and she's telling you, that girl, I'm uncomfortable, I'm on all the things, then you need to let it go and be willing to let it go. And if you're not, why you're not is the bigger question than the fact that she feels uncomfortable. All right, number 3. Do you feel as if you can talk to me about any subject? Do you feel that you can talk to me about any subject? This is a loaded question, but it doesn't have to be. Let me say this. The person needs to be emotionally mature, spiritually mature, to be able to share their heart without the person going off on them, shutting down, closing out, all the things. This is something that's very important because you need to be able to talk to one another about anything. You need to be able to talk to anyone about what's on your heart. You need to be able to share If something that's going on in the relationship, something going on with you that you need some insight on from them, do they feel like they're safe, they can share, or do you feel like they're walking on eggshells around certain subject matters? Do you feel like you can comfortably share your heart about any subject matter? Any subject matter. There will be nobody on the planet more close to you than the person that you marry. You need to be able to talk about everything. Ask them, is there any subject matter that you feel uncomfortable talking to me about, and why? Why? Why do you feel uncomfortable about talking to me about said subject matter? Number 4, how can our differences become a source of conflict? How can our differences in the future become a source of conflict? Let me tell you, you're going to marry someone, chances are, you're going to marry somebody who's totally opposite than you. Totally opposite than you. Totally different. They said opposites attract and then they're attacked. You see someone and the thing that you're not, you're drawn to that, and vice versa. He's drawn to you, you're drawn to him. But how are we going to keep those differences from causing conflict in the future? How are we going to keep those differences from tearing up just who we are as people? If you're an extrovert, you may marry an introvert. You may marry a saver, and he's a spender. How do we balance who we are? How God wired us and how we're made, that's who we are. How do we balance that and not tear us up? How does it not divide us? Understanding the differences between one another. Number 5, what causes you to shut down? You may already know the answer to this. If you've been in a relationship for some period of time, you may know what triggers them to cause them to shut down and not talk to you. But if you don't, if you haven't seen that side of them yet, ask them, what causes you to shut down? What causes you not to want to talk to me? Communication is one of the number 1 challenges in a marriage relationship. Number 2 is money. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Communication is a lifeblood of relationships. You have a communication style, he has a communication style. What is something that you would say, something that you would do, something that you would bring up, or not say or not do, that will cause that person to shut down? Could it be your tone? Could it be that you're dismissive? Could it be criticism? Or what's heard is criticism. It may not even be criticism. It may just be the way that they hear it. What will cause you to shut down? The person that you marry should be sensitive to that. I'm not implying, please don't hear that I'm saying that this is a form of you're manipulating them. I'm not saying that. You're having conversations, true, upright conversations about this is what causes me to shut down. Your tone causes me to shut down. You being dismissive causes me to shut down. You yelling, raising your voice for no reason causes me to shut down. You getting into an emotional turmoil causes me to shut down. You being mean to me causes me to shut down. And let me give you some things to say about if someone's being mean or something that's said or something that's caused that person to shut down. You can say that, just tell them that felt mean. Not addressing it is not going to make it go away. Not addressing it is not going to make it be better. You have to have the tools, you have to have the conversation, and you need to be very vocal in what those challenges are that may cause you to respond in a certain way. Say that felt mean to me. Say, speak to me in a way that you love me. Or just be forthright and say, I don't like the way that you said that. What causes you to shut down? Number 6, what justifies us going into debt? What justifies us going into debt? Money challenges, money differences, money fights. Huge source of contention in marriage relationships. What causes us, what justifies us going into debt? The average credit card holder has anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 worth of credit card debt. Why do we have that debt? Is that just stuff? Is that consumerism? Is that things, new things, or is there a season where the bills had to be offset with the credit cards because you were just in that particular season? You need to know why they have the credit card debt. That's a huge question. Why do we have credit card debt? Again, it could be offsetting school. It could be something that it was beneficial in the season that you were in that you needed to borrow the money. But if it's the latest Jordans, it's the latest Louis, if it's the latest pair of whatever, that's something that needs to be explored and talked about. Having these conversations will determine, what your financial deal breakers are. Some people view credit cards as a means of an income. And it's just there to spend when they want to go buy something, when they want to go do something. Are we going to pay cash for our vacations? Are we going to save up for them? Are we going to finance them? Are we going to finance the wedding? How much debt are we going to go into for this wedding? How hard are we willing to pay cash for it? Guys, these are some serious questions that need to be asked and have conversations with before you get into a marriage relationship. You need to be able to talk about everything. Sweet Lord, especially when it comes down to money. Everything. Everything. Next question. If we have credit cards, going back to credit cards, how do we plan to use them? Now, there are people who really, really use their credit cards very responsibly. They use them for cash back options. They use them for points, for traveling, all the things. Very responsible. I know people who amass a whole savings just on cash back. I know people who fly free all the time from the points they've accumulated. But they're not using their credit cards as a means of income. They're using their credit in order to acquire those things, cash back, points, all the things that come with that. And then they're paying them off in full every month. They're not carrying over balances. That is a creative way to use your credit card. But let me pause and say this. If you are a Dave Ramsey fan, this is going to be a problem for you. If you believe all things Dave Ramsey, that you need to stay out of debt, you don't use credit cards whatsoever, you need to marry somebody with the same vision or share with them why you should feel the way that you do, or that will be a problem. That will be a problem. If you believe credit is king and he believes cash is king, this is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. You got to be on the same page in your finances in order for you to win. It's not going to work any other way. Guys, I cannot tell you how many times I have seen this, where the wife has a view and a goal and a desire about how money works, and the man has a total opposite one, and it's just tearing their family apart. Before you get married, get on the same page with your finances. Have all of the conversations about money. How do you plan to use your credit cards? Why do you use your credit cards this way? Maybe that's all they've ever known. And you can bring great insight, great wisdom on different ways and means of doing it. It's not always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. People just know what they know because that's what they've experienced and what they've been a part of their life. And you can bring a whole different perspective on and insight on that particular subject matter. So that's why it is wise to have the conversations. Number 8, another money question. What are your thoughts about helping family or friends financially? What are your thoughts about helping family or friends financially? Are you willing to help them? I believe in a lot of seasons of life, people need help at some particular season. It's just the way that it is. I don't know if I know anybody. If it is, it's a very, 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 very small percentage, and they're probably not somebody I know, just somebody I've heard of, but have not had a season where they needed some help financially. Things happen. People lose jobs. There's health challenges that unexpectedly they hit the family, and at some point the income goes away. A number of things could happen. At what point are you willing to help a friend or a family? So there's 3 things you need to keep in consideration when you're doing that. Number 1, is that something that you both agree that you will do? What is if it's something that you will do? Number 2, what's the maximum amount that you're willing to loan them, that you're willing to give them? What's the maximum amount? What's the timeline for returning it if it is a gift? And number 3, is it a gift or is it a loan? Some people don't give money, loan money. Some people don't loan. They're like, if I got it, it's yours. That's just who they are. They're givers. At some point, people need help in relationships. They need in their finances at some point. It all depends. Now, let me tell you, if you have a family member who is not responsible, who's financially irresponsible, then I don't think you should have to agree. Or if he has somebody and you know their track record, you don't have to come to agreement with funding somebody's irresponsible lifestyle. God forbid the person in your relationship will want to do that. God forbid that he would want to do that or she would want to do that. Again, this is male and female who are maybe watching this. Chances are your husband, I pray that your husband or your wife does not feel like they want to fund a cousin's, a brother, a friend's irresponsible lifestyle. Who would want to do that? And also, let me say this. Another conversation you need to have is, will we co-sign for anyone? The Bible, even in the book of Proverbs, tells you not to. It's not wise to co-sign. Guys, I'm telling you, I have been, over the course of years, I have seen so many things, heard so many things, and when I think I haven't heard one thing, something else trumps it. I had a couple where the guy was paid $2,000 from an ex-girlfriend to co-sign on a loan for her car. He takes the $2,000 cash, co-signs the loan for her. Pause. If the bank doesn't consider her creditworthy, why would you? Why would you put your name on something that a financial institution does not trust them to give them their money back? Well, nonetheless, he did it. He put his name on the loan, finances an old girlfriend's loan on her car. Well, guess what? She defaulted on the loan. Guess what? When the wife found out, it was a knock on the door from the husband being sued for the balance, for the difference, because girlfriend defaulted on it. I'm shaking my head. I'm like, on what planet did you think that was a good idea? Co-signing, period, but on an ex-girlfriend's car and your wife don't know about it? And if your wife knew about it, something would have been wrong with her for her to agree with it. I know most women would not have agreed to do that. Nobody in their right mind would agree to do that. What planet was he on that he thought that that was okay? Just when you think you've heard it all. Number 9, do you owe the IRS? You're like, why do I need to ask them, do they owe the IRS? Because it's not going to be on a credit report. And the IRS will come for their money. The IRS will make your life miserable till they get their money. You will owe the IRS for the rest of your life through penalties and interest until they get their money. You need to know if they owe the IRS. Now, I'm not saying owing the IRS is a bad thing. That's not what I'm saying. You just need to know that if there's money owed to Uncle Sam and how much and what does that look like, because it's going to impact your finances. It's going to impact your household finances if there's a debt to the IRS that is owed, because that debt has to be paid. It is not bankruptable. They're going to get their money. Student loans aren't bankruptable. So the IRS is going to get their money. They're going to get their money. So you need to know if there's an IRS debt so you know what you're dealing with, all the things. All right, number 10. What are your thoughts on investing in our relationship by attending marriage conferences and retreats? What are your thoughts on continuing to invest our relationship through marriage conferences and retreats? And I say continue because you and he should be doing premarital counseling before you get married. If that person that you're marrying, if your husband-to-be, your wife-to-be does not want to do premarital counseling, you need to ask them why. And if their response is something like this, I don't want anybody in my business. I don't want no man trying to tell me what to do. That's a red flag. You should want a pastor, a marriage mentor, a counselor of some sort to prepare you, to help you especially if you've never been married before, even if you have been married before, with the biggest decision you will be ever making in your lifetime. Why wouldn't you want someone to help you, prepare you for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, who has the gift of counseling, who has a gift of wisdom, who knows more than you do? Why wouldn't you want anybody to help you with that? That makes no sense. But it's going to be tied to something else. I know the answer to that. It's tied to something else, not just I don't want anybody. It could have been that they've been shared some things with a pastor, counselor, mentor before, and the trust has been violated. It could be a number of things, but getting premarital counseling is critical to your success in your marriage. You need to set yourself up to win. You need to have an understanding even deeper of what you're about to walk into when it comes down to premarital counseling. And then that goes with continuing the journey of marriage education in your marriage. Marriage via marriage retreats, marriage conferences, marriage books. Anytime I'm counseling a couple, I always tell them, recommend once a year, read the same book on marriage. You say, I don't read, we'll get an Audible. Get it on Audible. And you know what that does? It helps your relationship to grow, and it creates organic conversations about your relationship that you can talk about in the book, and it helps you and give each other the grace to grow and go deeper in your relationship with one another. Marriage is a long game. You've heard me say that a number of times. It's a long game. So you should be learning and keep educating yourself about what you signed up to walk in for the rest of your life. Number 11, what unsettles you about marriage? Is there anything unsettling about marriage overall? Has there been a past traumatic experience? Maybe your parents divorced when you were younger, his parents divorced when he was younger, and now you have this unsettling about your heart, about your particular marriage. Maybe you've never seen marriage or Christ-centered marriage played out before. You don't even know what that looks like. You're not really sure. You're wondering, do you have what it takes to be married? Or generationally, nobody in your family been married. Everyone's been divorced or remarried. Or what unsettles you? What is unsettling about marriage that we need to talk about? That we need to get a better understanding on? That we need to go into this thing with the same mind, same thoughts, same values, same views. Because you are on the same team when you're marrying each other. When you hurt, he hurts. When he hurts, you hurt. You will either win together or you will lose together. You are one team, a unified front. What is unsettling in your heart about marriage? This is a before question. So we can explore. Let's get to the bottom of where that came from. What lie are you believing about marriage that's not even true? Good questions to ask one another. Is there anything unsettling about marriage that we need to talk about? And just have a conversation about it. Put the other person at ease about that thing that may be troubling them. And then the last one. What, if anything, have I done to make you feel as if you don't trust me? What have I done, if anything, that make you feel as if you can't trust me? If there's something that's happened in your friendship, your relationship, now being engaged, all the things over the course of these years that you've been together or several months that you've been together that has caused the other person to question their trust, ask them. Because if you don't have trust in a marriage, you don't have anything. Maybe that thing didn't get talked about like it should have. Maybe he or she or you or he didn't explain, why you felt X, Y, and Z behind what happened. And now you have these thoughts in your mind, do I really trust him? I feel this kind of way when I see you're answering your phone and you won't, you just seem like you're being secretive. Talk about that. Talk about a certain amount of time goes by when they don't text and you have anxious thoughts. And all of that may not even be you. That just could be just the enemy just baiting you. That's just what he does. But if there's anything that has come up that has caused you not to trust them, what is that? Do you feel like they have shared some things about your relationship to somebody else that they felt like you shouldn't have? Maybe something came up with money that was spent in a particular way that you feel like, wow, I don't know if I can trust her in that area, or I can't trust him. Whatever it is there anything that has come up or we have experienced that you feel like in an area that you can't trust me. Trust me. You've got to get that talked about and remedied. Trust me. Please talk about that. Please talk about that before you get married. Because if you don't, it's only going to cause problems and challenges in your marriage. You're going into it with this underlying challenges of trust in a certain area, and then the marriage. Let me tell you, marriage is a mirror. It's gonna whatever's there is going to be magnified. And if there's this level of trust that you're mistrust or misunderstanding or lack of trust that you're dealing with before you get married, marriage is only going to compound it. So these are just 12 out of, I think, probably over 150 questions that are in the back of this book that you and your future spouse need to ask one another before you get married. With all you're getting, the word says, get an understanding. Get an understanding, and you only get an understanding by asking questions. You only get an understanding by having the conversation. And it is critical that you do that and gain as much wisdom and knowledge beforehand so you know what you're walking into and have the tools to be able to walk hand in hand to do marriage for the rest of your life, for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, falling in love over and over and over again. Well, I'm so glad you stopped by again today. And if you have not subscribed, please like, subscribe, and even share. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.